The rediffusion YNR story is a long and winding one, and for the uninitiated, the WPP-owned YNR has been trying very hard to get full control of Arun Nanda's agency, Rediffusion. But the to and fro on this particular issue has been on for years now, all thanks to no consensus on valuation. It has indeed been a rather bumpy journey for the agency in India, but with both Arun Nanda and Martin Sorrell finally arriving at common ground, it won't be very long before YNR gets complete control of Rediffusion YNR in India. So when David Sable, the global CEO of YNR, was visiting India recently, I decided to cut to the chase. Listen in and do read between the lines. Thank you so much for joining us, David. Truly a pleasure to be interviewing the YNR CEO in India.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here being interviewed by you.
You know, your trip here suggests that, the stalemate between Rediffusion and YNR, has finally, gotten some kind of shape and conclusion. And from what we're hearing, is the deal is almost through, not yet ready for announcement, but, finally you're getting full control.
Well, it's interesting. I don't know what a stalemate is. Arun Nanda is my close partner. Rediffusion, YNR, that's a partnership. It's our name. We work very closely together.
Good to know and lovely to hear. But, Arun Nanda is a very respected, personality in the advertising marketing domain, and we know him very well as well. And we're also quite aware of the stalemate. And let me explain what I mean by stalemate. I mean this whole, the fact that you don't have full ownership of YNR in India. It's, they're the ones who are really calling all the shots, and hence, the relationship has been rocky at times. And, we saw Rediffusion YNR as a joint entity lose Colgate here. So we've seen all of that, which is why, the pointed question being, we believe the stalemate is over. We believe that, there is some sort of finality, and you might actually be getting full control.
All I will tell you is there is no stalemate, and let's stay in touch.
Okay. So what is the plan for YNR in India going forward, 2014 onwards? And, if you can give me a sense of how
Absolutely.
you are looking to be more aggressive in the Indian market, which obviously you haven't been due to several reasons.
Right. We haven't been as aggressive as I would like, and we are going to be incredibly aggressive in the coming years. So I think, first of all, again, is just this notion of making sure that the position of Rediff YNR inside YNR is clear, and I think it is. And one of the things I was really happy about yesterday is when I addressed the office, and I was on video to all of our offices around India, and I asked how many people were on this Spark, which is our intranet, and the number of people who raised their hands just astounded me. And so that made me feel good. It made me feel, okay, we're going in the right direction. People are feeling connected. I think that our VML case business now in Mumbai, we plan to grow that in India, is very important for us. And the partnership between the advertising side of the business and the VML side of the business is very important for us globally. It will be equally as important for us here.
How much of globally aligned businesses does YNR have, with different markets?
So it depends. We have Colgate, which is probably our biggest.
Yeah.
We work with Xerox. We work with Barilla. We work with, who else? We work with Danone, obviously, a huge client for us. We work with Bell Cheese. So there are quite a few.
Great.
But they're not all global in the sense they don't hit every market.
How many of those can Rediffusion YNR actually take advantage of in India? Do they have any?
They don't right now, but hopefully they do. Hopefully they will as we go ahead.
Do you think the India arm of YNR has somewhat been a stepchild of sorts, because they don't seem to have that kind of support in terms of just getting globally aligned businesses? And let me not stop there. Unlike all other WPP agencies which enjoy that, and it's a big advantage. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. So, if you can just tell me, if we going forward will see that kind of collaboration.
When we have that work, absolutely. So the answer is yes. As we get those accounts, as we have that work, and already we're working right now with Rediff on a particular global pitch that I can't talk about. Right. However, it's a pity, I know. Sorry about that. But hopefully we'll have good news for you. I promise you that if we win, you'll hear.
Given that you feel so passionately about it, and if you look at Rediffusion YNR's really the biggest client it had in Colgate, I mean, they've done some, decent and reasonably, acceptable and good work on Colgate, considering Colgate anyway asked you to stick to this very formulaic way of looking at things. Given that, are you as the Y&R CEO, finding it very difficult to fathom that you no longer have Colgate in the India market? Are you here on your trip trying to fight to get that account back?
No, I'm not, because that is a piece of history that happened a while back. And frankly, at this particular moment in time, I'm focused on Rediff, Y&R, and the future. I don't look back. It's not the nature of my business. It's not the nature of my personality, if you will. Okay. So I look to the future. Happened, nothing I can do about it right this very second.
Okay.
Maybe one day in the future it changes.
I'm going to ask you a hypothetical question. In the event, let's say, a month down the line, you have full control in India, are you going to change the name, the entity? Are you going to make it only Y&R? Are you going to let go of the partner's name completely?
That's a very hypothetical
question.
Hypothetical. It's
I just want a hypothetical answer. That's all.
It's incredibly hypothetical.
I know.
But I can tell you that if you look around the world, I have a wonderful agency in UK called Rainey Kelly Y&R, RCKYR, and I don't think we'll ever change that name. I have George Pat's Y&R in Australia, never change that name. So frankly, it's not a question that keeps me up at night.
I'm sure you already know that, but the acquisitions in India, especially in the digital space, have been, very rampant. So if I had a digital agency today, I'd be in a really good position because, I would definitely be picked up. Whether I'm good or bad, because that's just in vogue right now. And the valuations are crazy as well. How do you see this whole, this acquisition spree that's going on? Do you think people are just getting a bit too carried away?
Oh, without a doubt. I think people have been carried away around the world. And the truth of the matter is that there have been many acquisitions made in many markets. As you suggest, people see, oh my God, that's digital, and they buy it, and then a year later, there's nothing left. Exactly. 6 months later, there's nothing left. I mean, there's a lot of that. I'm a big believer in, we use the word digibabble, which means that anything nonsensical that people talk around the digital space, and there's a lot of that. And part of the digibabble is just sort of looking at these companies, giving them ridiculously high valuations, and then not knowing what to do with them after they buy them. And I've just seen way too many good companies disappear because either they're bought and not nurtured, or they're bought and homogenized into some other business, and then all of a sudden, all the beauty and power of what you bought goes away because you made it something else.
Right.
And so there's just been a lot. There's been a lot of wastage on that side of the business.
Do you think advertising as a segment or a sector or a domain is broadly very confused?
Do I think it's broadly confused? I think that advertising has been attacked as being dead, as being a dinosaur, as being irrelevant. Now, I always find that interesting, right? Because just look at Twitter and Facebook and WhatsApp and ask them, what are you doing to monetize your business? Oh, advertising. Gee, but I thought that was dead. To my way of thinking, it is a bit confused because I think that people in our industry allowed themselves to feel second-rate.
Sure.
They allowed themselves to believe that digibabble that said their business was over. Let me tell you something. 1,000 years from now, when Google is forgotten, right? Facebook no longer exists.
Right.
Digital is dead and everything is done through telepathy. Advertising will still exist.
I love your optimism. 1,000 years from now. All the very best and lovely meeting you.
Thank you very much. You too.